Time now for our virtual Utica mayoral debate, where we have all the candidates. We've gathered their answers to key questions, and we're going to present them back to back to back for the rest of this hour. So your virtual Utica mayoral debate will begin with the question about the downtown hospital location, and we begin with Linda Sullivan-Fatata from the Fix Utica party line, one of the candidates for mayor, and her opinion of the downtown hospital location.
I have made it no secret that I am not for the hospital locating downtown. I am, however, for the $300 million they're going to give us, and I'm grateful for that, but the hospital should be an extension of St. Luke's Hospital or perhaps the Psychiatric Center. It's also over by Utica College with a great nursing program over there. Downtown, that's too many properties off the tax rolls. Properties that can be developed into lofts, into businesses, brick buildings that you're never going to be able to rebuild. It's also becoming a place to live, a loft area, coffee shop area. Yes, you'll get some foot traffic from the hospital, but I'm not sure it's more conducive to live near a hospital. In the rent areas of loft apartments, they're $2,500 a month, $2,000 a month. Sometimes if you go to other cities and you look at their hospitals in their downtown areas, that's not what you're seeing around those places. I don't think it's the best spot.
Linda Sullivan-Fatata with her response to the downtown hospital location debate. And now we turn it over to Lou Lapolla, the Republican candidate on the conservative line, with his feelings about the downtown hospital.
Well, at this point in time, I've got to have answers. First of all, who determined the need? They put millions of dollars in both St. Elizabeth's and St. Luke's. Another issue I have is the shortage of beds. They said there's going to be less beds than the 3 hospitals, and we have an elderly population in Utica, and we probably always will. Another question that I have is what happens to the other 2 hospitals? I know they're going to keep open faxing, but what happens to a hospital like St. Elizabeth's? Are there plans? You know, the whole process confused me because these are questions that they would have asked before they actually designated a site. And Mayor Palmieri, I know, is for the hospital. But one of the chief issues is that most of the land in Utica is tax exempt. And that means the average taxpayer is subsidizing those that don't pay taxes. Why can the hospital, for their medical offices, for their doctors' plans and the labs, shouldn't they pay a service fee for police, fire, DPW services, police protection? What's the cost of the infrastructure? What is this? How much is the city obligated to do? So these are questions that once they're answered, fine, but these are questions that people are giving to me as I go door to door, and rather than commit for or against, I make a decision based on the facts. Give me the answer to these questions, and then I'll inform you how I feel.
Former Utica Mayor Lou Lapolla running again as a Republican and a conservative, talking about the downtown hospital location. And we continue our virtual Utica mayoral debate with the incumbent, Rob Palmieri, from the Democratic Party, and his feelings on the downtown hospital location.
Here's what it is. We don't have all the ingredients at this point to make the cake. We got some of the ingredients. They came up with a decision, the board, that their number one choice was downtown. And I think our due diligence at this time is let's look at all the facts before we make a decision. Let's not just revert back to where the city was and the negativity that we had, that everybody was against something without getting the facts. So let the facts present themselves. You know, I am an adamant supporter that, the hospital belongs in Utica. First and foremost, the state-of-the-art hospital. The residents deserve it here. I think the travel and the accessibility is paramount, and Anthony Brindisi did a great job securing it. But let's reflect a little bit here that we're talking about $300 million that the governor is coming in to put in a consolidation of hospitals. And for the last 40, 50 years, as far as I can remember, we always said, how come not Utica? We don't have the juice. We don't have the politicians with the strength. We have it now. We're getting $300 million. We got nanotechnology, got the harbor, you got all the great things that are happening at this point. Let's at least get all the facts before we make a decision. Let's not go in the past to where we were with this negative Willie stuff Let's get the facts, and we'll make an intelligent decision based on that.
Incumbent Utica Mayor Rob Palmieri on the Talk of the Town at 100.7 FM WUTQ as we continue with our virtual Utica mayoral debate with all the big issues being answered one by the candidates. We'll go to Palmieri again for his answer about the Utica city budget and what the city needs to do to keep improving its finances.
The key is here that, the reality is we came from a deficit of close to $8 million with a $15,000 fund balance negative. We've made strides. We've been upgraded by all three of the institutes of Standard & Poor's, Fitch, and Moody's. We've been, a model as far as where we're going. The key is that our revenues have to grow at the same pace as our expenditures, and that's really difficult at this time. Your health benefits, your pension costs, all the things are going in there. That's why it's imperative that our economic development is at the level that it's at, just to stay afloat at where we need to be. It is very difficult. We reduced our workforce by 20%. We did things that no other municipality is willing to do, but they will at some point because their backs are going to be against the wall. We made these difficult decisions. We're much stronger than we've been 4 years ago, but there's a lot more work to do.
Sitting Utica Mayor Rob Palmieri on the city budget and the finances here. Our virtual Utica mayoral debate on the Talk of the Town continuing now with Linda Sullivan-Fatata running for mayor on the Fix Utica party and her feelings on the budget that Palmieri just talked about.
Palmieri's budget is a credit card budget. It is not real. It is a phony budget. It is a phony surplus. He has used borrowing and extending our debt way into the future in order to create this money. It will all come home to roost. In the next 3 to 5 years, you will see our debt overwhelm us. That budget needs to be presented in an honest fashion. We need to pay our school tax bills. We need to increase our tax base. We have to stop giving agreements in lieu of taxes to every business that comes into the city, and they get 5-10 years free to be here. We have to realistically look at overtime and comp time being given to our public safety personnel, and we have to tell the public what we really have in debt, not what's going to hit us in 5 years. What do we have today? The budget is a fake budget, and I would change that.
Linda Sullivan-Fatata running for mayor on the Fix Utica party in Utica. Also, as part of our virtual Utica mayoral debate, Lou Lapolla from the Republican Party in the conservative line checking in with his feelings on the finances of Utica.
This year, they deferred payments to the police retirement system of over $4 to $5 million for 4 years. Mm-hmm. So in 4 years, that's going to hit. How about the $1.6 million they owed to the school system? $1.6 million always came back, and we had massive layoffs. When you look at the Palmieri budget, it's crafted with a lot of gimmickry. But remember, taxes have gone up almost 22% over 4 years. And they brag about a surplus. Well, if they're bragging about a surplus, why haven't services improved? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot. I have a lot of problems with this. I think, the property tax has been stretched to its limit, and I think we need action to control spending and do what we can to hold the line for the people living on fixed income.
721 on the Talk of the Town, 100.7 FM WUTQ, our virtual Utica mayoral debate. Lou Lapolla up again here from the Republican Party to talk about Nano Utica and what we need to do to prepare for the influx of population.
We have to bring people together, the business sector, the political sector, those people who are very involved. We have to involve the community. We have to address the community appearance, make sure our streets are repaired. Take a look at the streets that we have. If somebody working in Nano drove through the streets and they've, all at once they break a wheel bearing or something, they're gonna complain. I think we have to have a plan of action. We have to bring people together and say, here's our plan. Here's how we're going to address community appearance. Here's how we're going to address neighborhood revitalization. Because no one's going to settle within the city of Utica if there's housing that needs to be improved or streets that need to be fixed or those areas that have to be cleaned. You have to show a police presence, visible police cars and visible patrol cars, deterrence to crime. And that's something that's lacking.
Lou Lapolla And now, Linda Sullivan-Fatata with her feelings on Nano Utica and what we need to do to prepare. Here's Linda.
Nano Utica is so exciting. I'm very excited to have this opportunity. I have 4 kids. I would like nothing better for them to return to Utica and get good-paying jobs. However, we need the Nano people to live in Utica. We need them to want to buy houses in Utica. They're not going to want to do that right now. You have whole neighborhoods in decay, neighborhoods like West Utica, even parts of South Utica that are getting worse and worse. You need to fix the streets. You need to provide an incentive program to have people buy homes in Utica and want to live in them. Incentive programs for police, teachers, Nano personnel, incentives to buy vacant and abandoned buildings and fix them up. Everyone's not going to want to live in loft apartments. They have families. They want to raise children. You need people to want to buy in your neighborhoods, and that's what you have to do. Promote your neighborhoods and fix your city, and the Nano people will come.
Linda Sullivan-Fatata from the Fix Utica line, as we continue our virtual Utica mayoral debate with Rob Palmieri's vision for Nano Utica and our preparations for an influx of new people coming to town.
I think what you've seen is what we've done for the last 4 years. Make this a vibrant area that people really want to invest in here. Bring the quality of life to where the level that people feel it's clean and it's safe, and make sure that there's a return on the investment for the entrepreneurs that are coming in here. We just announced last week a $13 million project at Bag Square. If that doesn't tell you there's confidence in this marketplace, nothing does. The facts speak louder. You got the landmark building, what they infused millions of dollars into it, that people were talking about 4 or 5 years ago, that it was going to be knocked down. You got all the little bakeries and the fooderies going on in Bag Square, the excitement over there. International Boulevard, which is Bleecker Street, Varick Street, downtown, the lofts that are going on. The facts are the facts. This is, I keep on saying this, this is going to be the best little city in America.
Rob Palmieri, sitting mayor of Utica, our virtual Utica mayoral debate on the Talk of the Town, 100.7 FM WUTQ. That's part 1. Part 2 coming up.